Welcome to Rise and Unwind, a show where we focus on lifestyle, wellness, and feel-good stories to start your day. My name is Kayla, and here's what we have coming up next.
I find that in the new year, we gravitate towards big, overarching goals. I want to lose weight, I want to build muscle, but it's so important to remember that these are gradual changes, not overnight transformations.
I don't want to expose myself like this, but I'm a magician, yeah. I'm a magician, so I heard that you guys work with real magicians and consultants behind the scenes, and who are you learning from on this film, and what kind of magic trading looked like for you this time around, and who told you all the secrets?
Yeah, I have to say I had very little magic trading, kind of no magic trading on this third movie.
And it's a company that I started with my wife in our garage of all places, and our desk was a picnic table. And I made wine inside another person's winery for over 5 years.
All that and more on Rise and Unwind. It's bowl season, baby. You've got college football, Louisville versus Toledo, Keegan-Michael Key, plus an unreasonable amount of beans. Is it a game? Is it a comedy sketch? Who knows, but it's pure fun. Let's take a look.
The first ever Bush's Boca Raton Bowl of Beans was a simmering success. The first 2,000 fans who brought a can of Bush's beans to the stadium traded it for free entry into the game's MV Bean section, with every can donated to support local families in need. Actor and maestro Keegan-Michael Key says beans and football make a great game day pair.
There's this kind of warm family traditional feeling about this particular company, about Bush's, and it's part of why they wanted to identify themselves with a bowl game, because it's another very traditional warm thing, especially in December, right? They went above and beyond in regard to branding and being a sponsor.
Fans enjoyed a pregame bean bash, and during the game, fans sported Bush's Beans All Over bucket hats, turning the stadium into a literal bowl of beans. And waiting for the victor, a trophy full of slow-simmered baked beans to share in celebration. Congrats to the Louisville Cardinals. Find recipes and more online at bushesbeans.com.
Do you ever wonder what it really takes to turn an old house into something fresh, warm, and full of life? Fixer to fabulous fans already know. It takes heart, talent, and a whole lot of Marsh magic. Dave and Jenny Marsh are back with a brand new season dropping December 2nd, and they're diving into everything from storm-damaged homes to charming historic makeovers. And today, we've got the duo, so let's talk to them. Dave and Jenny, how are you, my friends?
We're fantastic. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing pretty good. I wish you guys could come to my house and help me. This place was built in 1905, and it's just like drives me insane. It's horsehair in the walls and stuff, so I need your help.
Oh,
yeah, horsehair plaster, yes.
We can relate. We have a 1903 house, and it's always needing work.
It's like I can't put a nail in, otherwise I will get half the wall to come back crumbling onto the floor. And I'm like, I need that Jenny and Dave Marsh magic, my friends.
I know, but the historic homes just have so much charm and character, and because they're so challenging, they have to, or else you wouldn't be able to put up with it.
If there was more charm, it would be called Bewitched. That's what I think it is. Too much charm, I think. So this new season kicks off with you guys renovating a tornado-damaged home for your child's preschool teacher. What made that project feel so personal for you and your family?
Gosh, the tornadoes that went through that night, they touched or affected just so many people in our community. Mm-hmm. One of them being our son Luke's preschool teacher, and we were there the very next day helping with the cleanup and just the devastation. They were one of the worst hit areas. It was awful. A place that you really should feel the safest in your home, that was taken from them. So from the very first day to almost a year later, when they figured out insurance and everything to be able to then start the renovation, we were able to put so many things in that will protect them and their home, their family from future tornadoes, and the whole community came together. It was just a full circle moment that was, I don't know, it was really kind of needed for our area with all the damage that happened.
And you guys have completed more than 300 homes together. What's something that still surprises you when you walk into an older house for the first time?
Oh, I was going to say that we've completed 300 homes together. That really surprised me.
There you go.
I don't even, the math. I think I feel like, and you may get this because you're also in an older home, but I feel like homes, you walk in and you can feel it, like you can feel something in a home. And it's either good or bad. But there's some homes you walk into and you're like, I just can tell this home has had happy memories here and it's such a special place. And I'm always curious about the history of homes and the things that have happened within that home and the lives that have been lived there. And so for us to be able to take an old home where families, generations of families have lived in, and then to make it work for a family now, like a modern family, and to renovate it in a way that's super functional. But really, we try to always preserve the history as much as we can. I love that. I love working on historic homes. Both of us do. Those are our favorite for sure.
It goes back to a time when, the character in the home, not only on the interior, but on the exterior, was so much more important. So to be able to add in our own touches or just bringing that character back to life again it's special.
I think in my house, the character is brought by skunks in the crawl space. That's that little magic that I get sometimes. But Jim,
that's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, exactly. Jim, you always add these thoughtful touches that feel so connected to the family. How do you translate who they are into design choices that actually really land?
Yeah, I feel like that's one of my favorite things that I get to do is to try to make the homes personal. I don't have to live there. These families live there, and I want them to feel like I don't want them to walk in and think, oh, this is Jenny Mars. I want them to walk in and say, this feels like me. Yeah. So we really do a lot of pre-work that you don't necessarily see in the 42-minute episode, but we really try to get to know the family, get to know the things they love. Just talk to them about their story. Their story is so important. And when you go into someone's home, it should reflect that story. Yeah. And so those little touches, sometimes they're really small. I mean, I don't know, like this last house we just revealed, there was a recipe that our homeowner mentioned that her grandma had made that was really special to her. And so we just engraved that on a cutting board and put it in the kitchen. And just something small like that really was really, really meaningful for her. And I think those little touches are what, to me, are my favorite parts of the renovation.
And Dave, your craftsmanship is a huge part of the show. Mm-hmm. What's a build or restoration this season that really pushed your creativity?
Oh, the stairs, right?
Yeah, we renovated a small cabin that we just didn't have room for a staircase. We had this really great loft space, but we didn't have room for a set of stairs just for code. So we actually. I don't want to mess up the episode, but we have a collapsible staircase that kind of folds out and then goes back into place. And it was such a challenge to figure it out, but it turned out so cool. It's really neat, and it's become an added feature of the house.
Well, thank you two for joining me today. Maybe one day I could be on a future episode where I could go from funky to at least fixer. From where I'm at now, okay? But check out the brand new season of Fixer to Fabulous on HGTV and stream past seasons anytime on Max. If you want more behind-the-scenes stories, design ideas, or updates from the Mars family, you can head to hgtv.com/Fixer to Fabulous. I want to thank you two for joining me today, my friends.
Thanks
you. For having us,
Thanks
Dan.
so
Appreciate
much.
You.
Bye.
Do you ever wish you could train your body and brain to handle fear better? In Limitless, Live Better Now, Chris Hemsworth pushes past pain, fear, and risk, guided by experts who turn science into real tools you can use. Today, we have, from the Risk episode, neuroscientist Dr. Abigail Marsh and freestyle motocross legend Robbie Maddison, two people who know a thing or two about fear and focus. Welcome to the show, you two.
Thank you.
All right, in simple terms, what's happening in the brain when we avoid risk versus when we face it on purpose?
Oh, that's such a good question. The problem with fear, sometimes fear is a useful emotion because it can keep us out of truly, life-ending or life-threatening danger. But fear does not always tell us the truth. Sometimes it tells us to avoid things that wouldn't hurt us and that might even help us to grow, that we might enjoy, and that might help us learn. And so we need to get better at learning when to ignore our fear and push through and do the things that fear tells us not to do. Because taking on positive risks, in Chris's case, climbing a 500-foot high wall in the Swiss Alps, can give us a sense of joy, can give us a sense of self-efficacy, and also resilience when tackling new risks in the future.
The episode explores exposure therapy and flow. What's a practical way viewers can safely practice those at home without a Swiss Alps climbing wall?
Well, if a Swiss Alps climbing wall isn't handy, there are lots of other ways to take on risks. The tricky thing is it's sort of personal to each person. So not everybody is afraid of the same thing. Some people aren't afraid of heights. I'm not one of those people. I'm glad that Chris climbed that wall instead of me. But for each one of us, it's important to pay attention to the things that scare you and that are inhibiting your life because you're avoiding doing things that might actually give you a sense of meaning and purpose and excitement and joy. And just identifying the things that scare you, and taking small steps one at a time to try to increase your ability to tackle that kind of challenge is really the thing to do.
Okay, I gotta make my list. I think it covers pretty much everything that scares me. Plus some names and Instagram accounts I could add to that list as well. Robbie, you've built a career in high stakes precision. How do you separate recklessness from calculated risk? And what's your mental checklist before like a big stunt?
Well, the edge of fear is where life gets interesting, and I really find that being in the present moment is my goal, because once you're that prefrontal cortex that Abby talks about turned off, and you're just focused on your technique and the physical things that are happening that might affect your outcome, you're really in this kind of focused state. And eventually, once action comes in, that's when flow state takes over. And life, I mean, it's just an interesting state of living. And it's not something that's achievable for massive long periods, but we're able to get to this point and function in a way where we're at our highest self. And it's, but for me personally, I mean, fear is something I deal with every day. And it's just something that I deal with. And so it's how I challenge myself. It's what keeps me motivated and healthy and working hard and with a confident mindset and doing the right work behind the scenes. It gets you ready for match day. And so I don't recommend climbing the wall either. I would have wanted to do it myself, but I'm climbing my own walls, and it's about, this series is to show you how it works and then figure out what those walls are to you personally and go after just kind of taking small steps, because with growth comes happiness, and this is all about well-being and how we can better ourselves.
And for parents and coaches, how do we encourage healthy risk-taking in kids and teens without pushing them way too far?
It's important to, I think, help everybody remember, whether it's kids or adults, that taking on risks is often really fun. When we discover that we can do something that we didn't know how to do, it can give us an incredible sense of joy that we are more capable than that we knew that we could be. And so by shutting ourselves off from taking risks, we're also cutting ourselves off from a lot of thrills and excitement and joy. The nice thing is that kids' brains naturally push them to take risks if adults just get out of their way. Parents can sometimes hover a little too much and be a little bit too overprotective, but kids need to take risks in order to gain the skills that will allow them to develop and grow and learn. And really what adults need to do is sort of tap into that childlike state of being a little bit more by being deliberate about taking on new things.
And just to add, as a father of 3 boys who are following my footsteps, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with risk taking. And I do see other parents kind of putting their kids in unsafe situations. And they're essentially trying to mimic my kids who are doing backflips and doing all this stuff, but they're not seeing the behind the scenes work that goes into that and the small steps we take to get them ready for it. So there's a responsibility of, unsafe risk taking, and what Dr. Abigail talks about and what we do, and this is positive risk taking and the small steps, and Chris trains for these things. So with the right preparation, you can scale the highest mountains. No one climbs Everest by just walking there and climbing it. It's all about preparation. You got to get ready for every step of the way. So there's a lot of learning, a lot of growth here. but an incredible series. I binge watched the first one. I'm excited to be a part of series 2. And a lot of Chris is a great example of what it takes physically, mentally. There's a lot of education in this. It's a must watch for sure.
I want to thank you two for joining me today. Limitless, Live Better Now is now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu. Check out the Risk episode with Abigail Marsh and Robbie Maddison for simple, science-backed ways to build courage, focus, and resilience starting today. I want to thank you two for joining me.
Thank you so much. Fantastic day.
Do you ever wish you could pull off the perfect diamond heist and just disappear in a cloud of smoke? The new suspense thriller, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, brings the 4 horsemen out of retirement, or maybe 5, we'll find out. There adds a new generation of illusionists and stacks the decks with mind-bending twists, prison breaks, and one very big diamond. Lizzy Caplan is back as magician Lula May, who's suiting up with the horsemen for their wildest caper yet. Lizzy Caplan joins us now. Lizzy, thanks for hanging out with us, my friend. How are you?
Thanks for having me.
All right, the return of Lula May. Fans were buzzing when they realized Lula is back in this movie, kind of right in the middle of a big diamond heist. What was the most exciting part about slipping back into Lula May's world of cons, disguises, illusions, and injuring yourself violently?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much everything. I love playing this character. She's ridiculous. She doesn't shy away from being ridiculous. Her tricks are insane, and her attitude about everything is pretty bonkers. So any excuse to slip back into her shoes, I will happily take. Not to mention, I love all of my castmates so deeply on this one that it just doesn't feel like work when we get to make these movies.
And pushing the magic further, this one feels bigger and let's just say, I guess, twistier.
I agree. I think there's more twists in this one for sure.
From your point of view, how did Now You See Me, Now You Don't raise the stakes compared to some of the earlier films?
Like you say, they just the locations keep getting more wild and far-flung. The thriller itself, the heist itself becomes bigger and bigger. And the performances, I hope, become even more fun to watch as we really settle into like playing these characters now for many, many years.
And you were mentioning some of your favorite people are in this film. We could go through the list, like Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Dave Franco, Isla Fisher, Morgan Freeman,
all great.
Rosamund Pike. Yep.
A+ across the board.
But you got newbies in here: Ariana Greenblatt, Justin Smith, and Dominic Sessa. Any words about them?
They were amazing. You know, you never know if new people, especially with such a huge generation gap, are going to vibe as well as the rest of us do. And they absolutely did. They fit in seamlessly. They are wonderful additions.
And just to let you know, I don't want to expose myself like this, but I'm a magician. Yeah. I'm a magician. So I heard that you guys work with real magicians and consultants behind the scenes. And who were you learning from on this film? And what kind of magic trading looked like for you this time around? And who told you all the secrets?
Yeah, I have to say I had very little magic training, kind of no magic training on this third movie. I had to do practice with the doves, releasing doves. But that was kind of it. The rest of them had to go to magic school. They learned a bunch of stuff. I learned stuff on the second movie. I'm not a magician. I didn't keep it up. So now I once again know no magic.
Okay, we won't hold it against you. You do make magic look really cool, because I know magicians and not a lot of them are as cool as you guys, all right? That's I just gotta say.
Hey, listen, thanks.
Why see it in a theater without spoiling any of the twists? What do you hope audiences feel when the credits roll, and why is this kind of the heist movie that really plays best on a huge big screen?
Well, I think that there aren't as many movies these days that feel like they were meant to be watched in a movie theater with an audience of people while you're eating popcorn and just enjoying it with a room full of people. It's one of those movies. It is pure entertainment. It's not for sitting and watching it on your phone, although I guess if you want to do that like down the line, sure. But for your first viewing, you should go to the theater, bring your family, bring your parents, bring your kids. It's genuinely fun for people of all ages. These movies don't come around that often anymore.
Lizzy Caplan, I want to thank you for joining me today. You can catch Now You See Me, Now You Don't. It's in theaters now for showtimes, theaters, and more on the film. Head to nowyouseeme.movie and look for the hashtag Now You See Me on social media. Lizzy, thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for having me. Have a good day.
This time of year, a lot of people set big health goals and feel overwhelmed trying to be perfect right out of the gate. But nutrition experts say long-term success is really about consistency and not chasing that latest trend. So joining us today is Melissa Jaeger, registered dietitian and head of nutrition at MyFitnessPal, to share science-backed habits that actually stick. Welcome to the show, Melissa. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing well.
Oh, I'm glad you're here because I've realized there's no shortage of viral diet trends that are online as people are trying to set their health goals for the year. So what science-backed habits should they be really focusing on?
I have a few science-backed habit ideas for viewers today, and the first is tracking your nutrition, because unlike those quick fix diets that we see that promise big results but lack the scientific evidence to back them up, MyFitnessPal provides you with the tools you need and the insights into your current diet to support you as you build healthier habits this new year. I also encourage you to try cooking more at home, which offers a myriad of health benefits. And I don't know about you, but I love to try new recipes in the new year. So to make things easier, we partnered with professional basketball player Cameron Brink to create the Blue Check Collection, which is an exclusive in-app recipe collection featuring registered dietitian reviewed recipes that break through the viral food trends.
And I see your mantra behind you, consistency. You talk about that more often, about over perfection. Why does that approach lead to better long-lasting results than those quick fix diets or some of those extreme plans?
Exactly. I find that in the new year, we gravitate towards big overarching goals. I want to lose weight. I want to build muscle. But it's so important to remember that these are gradual changes, not overnight transformations, because how your body responds to diet and exercise is unique to you. So it's important to take small steps, stay consistent with those steps to lead to sustainable habits. And that's where nutrition tracking can come into play, because by consistently tracking your nutrition, you can see how those small changes you make today, next week, next month add up to big results, not just in January, but throughout the year.
I also want to look like Ryan Gosling, but I don't know if that's happening anytime soon. So with so much conflicting nutrition advice out there, how does MyFitnessPal help people cut through some of that noise and build more balanced habits?
This is the time of year where nutrition noise is more prominent than ever. And for 20 years, MyFitnessPal has helped millions cut through the viral fads with science-backed nutrition guidance you can trust, because you can log to see the facts. So as those new viral recipes pop into your feed or new food items are being promoted, I encourage you to log and see how they factor into your daily nutrient goals. Are they giving your body the protein and fiber it needs to hit that weight loss goal? Or is there an opportunity to sneak in a few more nutrients, vitamins, and minerals to bring balance to your day rather than focusing on one meal or food item?
And AI, it's been infiltrating everything. We are seeing more AI-powered tools in these health apps. How does making food tracking faster and easier to help people stay consistent pretty much day to day?
At MyFitnessPal, we've released several AI-powered features, including Meal Scan, which allow you to quickly snap a photo of your meal, log it, and get back to enjoying that food in front of you, and Voice Logging, which I love because you can log, say, that breakfast as you're rushing out the door simply by speaking into the app. These tools were designed to make logging faster and easier so you can save valuable time and focus on staying consistent with your health goals.
Hey, I want to thank you for joining me today. If somebody wants to learn more or maybe get started, where should they go?
Head to the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and download MyFitnessPal for free today, or upgrade to a Premium Plus subscription to unlock the Blue Check Collection that we talked about and the full suite of AI-powered tracking tools to make food logging faster and easier this new year.
Melissa Jaeger, I want to thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Do you ever notice how hosting at home keeps changing every year? From what people are serving to how they're bringing guests together, entertaining looks a little different as we head into 2026. So joining us today is Joseph Carr, founder of Josh Cellars. He's here with the biggest at-home entertainment trends we're seeing for the year ahead. Welcome to the show, Joseph. How are you, my friend?
I am fantastic. Thank you. It's great to be here.
And thanks for being here. As we're kicking off 2026, what are some of the entertaining trends that you're seeing people lean into this year?
Well, 2026, guess what? That's America's 250th anniversary. And that's going to be amazing. There's going to be lots of events, lots of parties, lots of things, and people are going to want to try American wines. And Josh Cellars is now considered one of America's most beloved wine brand. And it's a company that I started with my wife in our garage of all places. And our desk was a picnic table. And I made wine inside another person's winery for over 5 years. It's the American dream. It embodies that story and that journey. And 2026 is going to be about entertaining.
So are you noticing any changes when it comes to like beverage choices or drink options at gatherings?
Yeah, well, it's January. So dry January is a trend that's out there right now. People are kind of, stepping on the brakes, coming off of holidays. And we recognized that a couple of years ago. And we actually have a winery in Italy, north of Venice, where we make Josh Cellars Prosecco. And we thought, hey, why don't we try to make an NA sparkling wine? And we did. And it is fantastic. It tastes just like our regular Prosecco. And that's a trend where people are, they'll try it alone, or they'll make mocktails out of it. And that's something, especially among young people, is a big trend, and we recognize that. We're involved with it.
Honestly, I'm there. I've been trying to reduce my alcohol intake, and that sounds wonderful. So beyond food and drinks, what other shifts are you seeing in how people are hosting and entertaining at home?
Well, let me put it this way. When you're a wine producer, you become very popular. So I entertain a lot. And the one thing that I realized is, you got to make it easy. You got to make it fun. Forget the 10-course tasting menu. Put together a charcuterie board. Put together a buffet. Have a wine station. I'll put out different types of wine because Josh Cellars makes Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot. Pinot Noir is great for a holiday or an event. We make a new wine called Sea Swept, which is a blend of Sauvignon Blanc and Pinot Grigio, and that is just amazing at parties. We're doing spritzes this year because we have Prosecco NA, and we're coming out with a new sparkling wine called Sea Swept Sparkling out of Northern California. And that's going to be that's going to be my daytime drink. Okay. And that's what I'm going to take to the beach.
I love that. All right. Sea Swept. I kind of also like this idea of getting to know the people around you a little more than trying to show off how well you know the wine. I like that. It's a good way to go. So if viewers want to learn more, where is the best place to go?
Okay, we'll go on joshcellars.com. Check out our Instagram feed. It's really cool. Lots of young and fun things going on there. You can also go on YouTube. I've had about 10 million views on YouTube when it talks about the story, the journey, about my dad, Josh, and these handcrafted wines that we make. And we're celebrating America's 250th anniversary.
Joseph Carr, I want to thank you for joining me today and sharing your wine with us a little bit.
You got it. Thank you.
That's it this week for Rise and Unwind. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. For more episodes and updates, be sure to follow us on social media. That's at Rise Unwind. If you'd like to be on our show, head to our website at riseunwindtv.com and fill out the form. And if you'd like us to be on your show, surprise, it's the same form. We're organized like that. And lastly, we are on YouTube at Rise Unwind. If you maybe want to click that little bell to stay updated and check back next week. Until then, take care of yourself, and we'll see you next time on Rise and Unwind.